I want to upload this video and put it on my main page of my website, because if anybody else experiences what I experienced, I want them to know that they're not alone. They're not the only. When something like what I experienced happens, it's like zoom, you're out there by yourself in the wilderness, and you don't even know what's going on. And what I'm talking about is you see past 3D. Now what I saw was a Shekinah glory. Just Google Israel and Shekinah glory, the tent, the Shekinah glory that came down. Just Google that. And when you see something like that, because it represents the presence of God, right? And so the presence of God is what? Holy, holy, holy. And so for the first 10 months after that, I couldn't hardly even function. I mean, all I could do was just go to work and I was in another state of mind. It's like, and it took about 6 years to get back to normal, and still not normal, but able to function. Now that I've decoded what this place is, I'm normal, but I see everybody else been out of shape over stuff that's not even real. This is a simulation. This is not even real. This is a cartoon. To me, this is a cartoon. And so after about 10, 12, let's see, 2012, 12 years, I was finished with that experience. I still experience it, but I was like, okay, what's next? So I wanted to come back and experience that was back in July and August. I thought, let's see what it feels like to come back to 3D land and immerse yourself back in a 3D experience instead of just being in the 5D mindset. Drop back down in a 3D mindset. And so when you see the holiness of God, you're talking about pure love, right? And you're talking about power. Holiness is not only holy, but it's pure love, and it's absolute power that will knock you down and kill you if you saw it too much. Just like he told Moses, Moses said, I want to see your face. He said, no, you can't see my face, but I'll come by and you can see the back part, like see his back, And so then you had the priest class in the temple, the Shekinah glory would come down, and they had a cloud behind them and a light in front of them, guiding them. The presence of God, I promise you, if you ever experience that, it will knock you down on the ground. And not just for one day, for years. Because you're seeing something that is this is nothing but dirt and clay and sin and flesh and bugs, and it's just, this is a death cult, actually. I hate to tell you, it's a death cult. I mean, your fingernails are dead skin, your hair's dead skin, your body's going back to the grave. You're in a death cult. Adam and Eve dropped us down into a death cult. It's sad. But it had to happen. God knew it would happen. You got dropped down into a death cult, don't even know it. And once you see it, once you decode it and see it, you're like, I'm ready to get out of this place. But then you say, well, Lord, you're not taking me out, so I guess I need to go have the full holographic simulated experience. I have to go full on experience while I'm down here. Just go ahead and experience it all. Pain, happiness, all of it, because it's all the same, really. I know you might hear gurus say that, and I'm going to explain why they say it. Extreme ecstasy or happiness is no different than pain down here. You might say, how's that possible? What are you talking about? That don't even make sense. I know it don't make sense. But the purpose of the pain and the extreme joy or whatever is to turn you. It's a sine wave, right? And it's to push out the baby that is the spirit mind. And it's actually also designed to get you to not to like this place anymore. If you notice, most believers, they say, I hate this place because of the pain. But there's also joy. I mean, you can see the leaves are dead now, but in a few months, you'll see new growth, new life. This is why women, when they see a newborn baby, they get all excited. They might be sitting there depressed. They see a newborn baby and they just go crazy and get all excited, But I promise you, if it ever happens to anybody, like I said, I'm going to put this on my website. I don't know what I'm going to call it yet. If you see past the natural plane, you see, I don't know if it would happen with an angel. If you saw an angel, it'd probably mess your mind up for a while too. If you see the Shekinah glory, it's going to mess you up for about 7 years. If you're married and you see it, they're going to put you in the funny farm. They're going to call you crazy. If you're single, you need a job. You can't run your own business because you'll lose it. You won't be able to function. You need authority to hold you accountable to be there, because if you run in your own business, you won't be able to function. You won't even be able to. You've got to have some kind of routine, and that's true with life. If you don't have a routine, look at this. I don't care if they take it. If they want it, they can have it. I don't care. Let's see if he comes. If he comes, this looks like an older guy. Let me see if he comes back around. I'll let him have it, so you don't have to walk that far. Before I saw the Shekinah glory, I'd be fighting for that space. Now it's like, he can have it. He's older. He probably eats too much sugar. He probably don't want to walk that far. If he comes back around, see, there he goes. Oh, he's leaving. Oh, he went to a different. To experience that kind of love from God, you can love your enemy. You can love all your exes. You can forgive anybody that tried to steal your house, take you to court, lie about you, try to put you in jail based on lies. You can forgive them because you know God was in control. He allowed you to see how evil the flesh mind is. And if you can see it as so evil in others, then you can see it in yourself. If you only do this and you don't look at these, you'll never be happy. Because first you got to look at these before you do this. Because once you look at these, you won't even do that anymore. Because when that person, let's say that person comes over here yelling and screaming, I roll the window down and say, what's going on? You took my parking space. All right, let me move for you. If that's bothering you so bad, Jesus saves you. Are you saved? Yeah, I'm saved. Oh, keep your, he'd probably say, well, don't worry about it. Keep your space. See, it's all about staying in equilibrium and look at it from the outside in. The biggest thing I learned after this, as I'm talking right now, I'm talking out here, but I'm also up here. Let's say this is me. I'm also up here observing myself. And you practice that for 21 days. Let's say this is a person right here, and you're having a conversation. If this person is self-aware of themselves talking to you, and self-aware of you talking to them, and they're not just jumping and saying whatever, they're watching their thoughts before they say them, and during and after. If you can remember the thoughts you had yesterday, you got it going on. But if you can remember the words you said yesterday, you got it going on. You really got it going on if you can see your thoughts. And if you can remember what you were talking, and one way to do that is cut off the TV, cut off the music, and just have that internal dialogue going on. And anybody says, I don't have an internal dialogue, I just can't believe that. I don't think that's possible. If you don't have an internal dialogue, you might be an NPC. You might be a robot. I can't imagine that. If there's people out there with it, I'm not trying to attack anybody, but if there's people out there without an internal dialogue, maybe the robotoids are real. Maybe there are synthetic humans already here. I just can't imagine it. But I have seen, after seeing that other realm, I have seen that you can project your thoughts out and people will respond to your thoughts. That is a real thing. There's so much stuff that's like happening right here. But when you're in the 3D natural plane, you don't even see it. There's so much truth happening right here all the time. See the word macro? Integration services. The guy had a blue shirt on. She got a blue shirt on. You got this homeless guy walking back and forth asking for people for money, like at this right here. See him? People walk in. Instead of him going to get a job over at McDonald's, he's just begging for money. I see them standing, they stand on the street from 7 o'clock till 7 at night. I'm thinking, man, if you can do that, they just hate authority. They don't want to submit to authority, is what it comes down to. God uses authority to protect your life. Accountability and authority will save your life. Accountability and authority will keep you from making these rash decisions that you tend to want to do, and it calms you down. The cycles that you go through, these cycles, every day is a new day, a new cycle. So this is day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4. But that looks like, day 4 looks like day 1, because it is. Day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4. You reboot your computer, the sun reboots. Set, sun set. You reset every day. Reset, sun set. And so each day, with your internal dialogue, nothing out here changes. Groundhog Day. And so what happened with the guy in Groundhog Day? He started changing his inner core. And God actually had to send the Shekinah glory into my world to get me to start doing that. Because I was watching everybody else. I remember getting in the car and first thing I did is hit the music. Rock and roll. I couldn't stop. But that's the world. So when I finally cut the music off, it was another story. It was even deeper. You might not believe me, but when you cut the noise off and you get in meditation mode, you live in another world. You're in another world, and the synchronicity is so high level that when you're around people, they'll look at you. And this happened to me a Monday, I think, at work. She said, "What'd you just say?" I said, "Step into it." She said, "Look, I was just thinking about that. I was just talking about that or watching that video," or whatever she said. When you cut off the noise, control your thoughts, bring every thought into captivity, the synchronicity is like off the roof because you're outside of time. All this stuff is to get you to live in the past and to not be in the now or to worry about the future. It's the devil's system, and it's not really the devil's system, it's mankind's system. Because if it wasn't for mankind, the devil wouldn't even exist, because the king of Tyre is the king of the flesh. And man fell down into sin, so there has to be a king over sin, just like there's a king of righteousness. And what you do is you say, we're not judging anybody else, we're judging ourselves. Judge yourself, lest you be judged. We're holding short accounts. We're being accountable. We're being compassionate for people. You try to look at it from another perspective. So if you're face to face with somebody, you're interacting with somebody face to face. And this is the hard part. But if you trained yourself to walk in the Spirit years and years, and then you finally face off with somebody face to face on a deeper level, then you have compassion on that person. You understand where they're coming from. You love that person, care about that person. You listen to that person. You try to figure out their shadows. You got your shadows. You try to figure out their shadows. And I hate to use that word because it is a Carl Jung word, but all it's saying is strongholds. Let's call it strongholds from childhood or whatever. You try to figure out their strongholds just like you got some, and so that you can interact and you're willing to talk about it, be open about it, And then there's that peace and that unity there, you know. Not afraid to talk about it. Because only reason people are afraid to talk about it because there's no unconditional love out there. And other people can't see their own junk, so they're sitting there. Let's say you're talking to somebody and they have a problem with whatever it is. They want to talk about it to get healed, but they're afraid you're going to judge them or hold them accountable. I mean, look down on them. Anyway, I'm getting into stuff y'all already know, but the part you don't know is seeing past 3D. And once you do that, you don't need to experience. I'm not saying I'm better than anybody because it's all. Maybe other people can live in this reality in agape love and compassion and mercy and kindness and forgiveness, and maybe other people can do it. Maybe I was so hard-headed God had to knock me down for 10 years to wake me up, you know. But if you ever do see it, you're not crazy. If your spouse tries to put you in the funny farm, don't be mad at them. They just didn't experience what you experienced. If I would have told my future self right now understands what I went through back then, however 12 years ago or whatever. But if I was to go back in time, which there's really no time, if I was to go back in not understanding, this is really not understanding. If I was to go back in the non-revelation, there's really no time. It's all revelation. So if I went backwards into not having these revelations, I would, if I was in that mindset, I'd think I was crazy too. I'd say, maybe I need to be locked up. You know, if I hadn't experienced it looking back, you know. You can figure out what I mean by that. But anyway, that's enough.